This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Let's get to the next match. This is one I didn't even remember happening until I watched this one back for the first time in 30 years. It's everyone's favorite nature boy, Buddy Landel. And he's facing Dustin Rhodes. I think this is Dustin's first pay-per-view match back. The prior month, he was on Royal Rumble 91. So here he is back on pay-per-view, this time for WCW. And you're sitting ringside doing commentary with Dusty Rhodes. And you even sort of poke fun at that. Hey, it's the first time I've called a match with the father of one of the competitors. That's probably never happened before, for real, right?
Yeah, I try to think back. Not really. I don't think so. Maybe Lawler and Brian Christopher.
Ah, there you go. Dustin Rhodes is going to pin Buddy Landel here in 6 minutes and 32 seconds with a bulldog headlock. Landel was working harder than usual, taking extra high bumps to get Rhodes over. There were a few spots towards the end that didn't go as planned, and people could see it. Buddy took one awfully high backdrop, 2.25 stars. I love Dustin in this era. We haven't spent a ton of time talking about Buddy Landel, but he's probably one of the great what ifs of professional wrestling, isn't he?
Yeah, very underrated. When he wanted to be good, he could be really good. And obviously, with his opponent's father doing the booking, you're going to take those high backdrops. That's good for business. And of course, Buddy knew every trick in the book. You know, no territory guy out of the Memphis territory, but Buddy was very talented. You know, and I always thought that the Nature Boy thing. I thought Ric Flair pulling off the Nature Boy thing and following Buddy Rogers was a miracle to some degree, because Buddy Rogers is legendary with the Nature Boy moniker. And then Buddy does it, which is more, I think it was just more of a heel thing. I don't know how we ever described that as well as we should, but nonetheless, Buddy Landel was a very underrated talent. Buddy just had trouble managing himself, and his demons were not very edifying, and he had hard times with them, and certainly died way too soon. That's a situation of a guy that had better mentorship early and had somebody kind of half-assed looking over his shoulder. Could have had a magnificent career, but he couldn't control his demons.
What about Dustin here? What did you think about his presentation here in early 91?
I always liked Dustin's work. That era he was really good. I mean, you know, here's the problem he's going to have is that his much like Cody has right now. You're either going to love the Rhodes legacy and the family and all that, or you're not. And I think that goes for anybody, but you know, Dustin and Cody still to a certain degree this day have got to continue to move out of the shadow of their great father. And I think that was Dustin's issue there. You know, he was still trying to figure out how to get to the next place without it always being he's Dusty's kid. And I don't, sometimes on commentary, we may not have done a good job of trying to separate that and give him his own identity. But he was relying too much on, the promotion was relying too much on him being Dusty's son. And of course, Dusty being the booker, you put two and two together. So the boys are going to say, well, he's getting a break because of his old man, blah, blah, blah. And that's probably one of the more overused statements you can get, because it's been done forever. Sons of promoters or sons of top guys, they moved the hell of the line very quickly.
Do you think that hurt Dustin more than it helped Dustin? I mean, just amongst his colleagues.
Yeah, I do. Because he was so great. Hey, look, the son of a gun is 50-something years old.
Yeah,
he's still good.
Yes, very.
He's still good. I said this, you know, the most memorable. If I whether I work one more year or 5 more years, I'm going to be hard pressed to have a match that I invested more emotion in, and that I like calling more than Dustin and Cody. I thought it was a goddamn classic. I still do. You know, that's another one that people can learn from. It's a unique setting, but here's the thing. It's the epitome of a personal issue. That's what the brother versus brother. and it was still fresh. Dustin hadn't been back for a long time. He freshened up by being away. AEW was new. So I thought that that match was stand the test of time in any era that I've worked in. So, but Dustin's a hell of a hand. But I think sometimes, that's the Dusty's kid. Then people would sit and watch a match and they'd say, oh, that's the Dusty Rhodes' boy. Well, I remember that Dusty did this. So now they're talking about Dusty. They're not talking about Dustin. So I think that should have been, that might have been that might have called for just a first name guy. Here's Dustin. I don't know. But it's hard to get, he needed some separation and needed to cast his own shadow, not stand in his dad's.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at savewithconrad.com.